I remember October 10th, 2003. I was at the movies that day with a friend of mine visiting from the military, and we decided to not go see Kill Bill Volume 1, but instead go and see Uwe Boll's House of the Dead. It was a decision that I instantly regretted because later on that night at my own theater, I got to watch Kill Bill Volume 1 for the first time. And I'm not going to lie, it changed my perspective of filmmaking in a lot of different ways. The movie is stylish, it's fantastic, it's fast paced, it's well written, it's well acted. And here it is nearly 16 years later, and it is still one of the top films of the past 20 years. Volume 2 merely concluded an already great story when it came out April of 2004. And it's been one that it's been hinted at having a third entry since then. I remember back when people were asking the question, will there be a Kill Bill Volume 3? Will there be a third entry into the franchise? And Quentin Tarantino said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that, well, we're going to probably wait about 15 years for the actress who played Vivica A. Fox's daughter in the movie to grow up to be an adult to then hunt down Beatrix. And that is an idea that a lot of people wanted. And it does kind of seem to make sense that coming on the heels of the release of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, that conversation surrounding Kill Bill Volume 3 would be popping up again. And it turns out it is. According to this, Tarantino say he and Uma Thurman have recently been talking about Kill Bill Volume 3. And this is actually a relatively big deal considering the Me Too movement. Now, you guys might recall that during the height of the Me Too movement, Uma Thurman came out with the story of how Quentin Tarantino put her in a very dangerous situation involving a stunt where she was driving a car for Volume 2 where she ended up wrecking it, getting herself injured. Tarantino himself had driven that route ahead of time to make sure that it was safe, and he missed a particular turn, and that's what caused the accident. And he and Harvey Weinstein in the studio, at least this is my interpretation of it, very much tried to sweep it under the rug. And during the time of massive call-out culture, Uma Thurman dropped that nuke on Quentin Tarantino, and it ran the risk of severely damaging his career, severely damaging his legacy in Hollywood. Because not only was that a bad thing when that happened, but Uma Thurman was his closest friend at the time. At least that's what it appeared to everyone who knew their relationship. They'd been freaking collaborators. They were very close to one another. And she was clearly angry with what happened and held on to that for 13 years or 14 years and finally let it drop. So the fact that they're talking about this now, nearly 2 years afterward, it goes to show you that there has been some serious rekindling of their relationship. And I, for one, can't be happier. So according to this interview that he gave on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, he says, me and Uma have talked about it recently. Frankly, to tell you the truth, I've thought about it a little bit further. We're talking about it literally last week. If any of my movies are going to spring from my other movies, it would be a third Kill Bill. Personally, I wish it would be like the Vega brothers. You know what I mean? We have good de-aging technology now. Bring out some John Travolta, bring out some Michael Madsen, give us that Vega brothers movie everyone's been asking for since Pulp Fiction in 1994. But really, Kill Bill Volume 3 is the one that a lot of people would love to see there be something else with. That or like Django Unchained. The characters in there were fantastic. I would love to see a follow-up to that movie. I'd love to see a follow-up to Kill Bill as well. I think Tarantino's got some sequel possibilities with these characters that he's created, because people really identify with these characters and they like these characters. And I think Kill Bill at the time was massively, massively understated in regard to female action hero representation in Hollywood, right? How many times do you hear coming out of the left media, no, there's never, ever, ever any strong female leads in these films? And everyone's all like, well, there's Sigourney Weaver, there's Linda Hamilton, there's Uma Thurman for Kill Bill. That gets brought up. That never gets brought up. Neither Kate Beckinsale nor Mila Jovovich for their roles in Underworld and Resident Evil, respectively, or even Angelina Jolie and Lara Croft. These movies that exist that have large fan bases never seem to get the respect that they deserve when it comes to that kind of conversation. And if you look at Uma Thurman in Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2, I mean, it's a powerhouse performance all the way through. Excellently made, excellently acted, excellently put together. And it's something that a lot of people love there to be, well, a third entry into. It doesn't need it, by the way. It doesn't need, I just want to make that abundantly clear. It doesn't need a third entry. If anything, he just needs to finish Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair, which gives us the 1 5-hour bloody saga that so many people, myself included, want to see. But ultimately, to me, this is a good thing. If they're talking about it, then that means that Tarantino is actively working on the concept of it. What does this mean for that potential 10th and final film? Is it going to be Kill Bill Volume 3? Is it going to be the Star Trek movie. I think it's going to be both. I think that he will direct Star Trek. I think he will write and direct Kill Bill, and I think he'll continue making movies after the fact. I think at this point, he wants to get out while he's ahead. I got 10 movies under my belt, but you can't ever tell a film buff like Tarantino to not want to tell stories. Now, he's written screenplays before, like True Romance, that have been made that he had no involvement with, but that was over 25 years ago. And he, since then, has produced a couple things. He used to have a line that produced quite a bit, but ultimately, you're never going to be able to get the filmmaker out of Tarantino. And so I think that while the Star Trek thing, that's an active scripting right now, is probably going to be the next project. His final movie, if he does choose to make a final movie, will probably be Kill Bill Volume 3 with Uma Thurman, because I think she needs to come back in her career right now. Not to say that her career has gone stagnant, but it's not as big as it once was. And I think that he needs that kind of goodwill win with the fan base coming off the Me Too movement. And it's possible that this is just the little shot in the arm their relationship needed in order to finally come back to that collaborative territory, which, hey, listen, I don't know about you, but I'm excited if that's the case. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm curious to know your thoughts. Are you excited for Kill Bill Volume 3? Do you think it should not happen? What about the Star Trek movie? Do you think it's ever going to happen? And if so, what do you think is going to be Tarantino's final film? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys later, or head over to facebook.com/groups/3buck theater to get in on the action over there. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.